I went to college. I studied education and history.
Yeah.
So, being a fictional story taking place throughout the history of New York City on this one block in the Bronx, that I thought that was very like different and very because I did try to use that in my classroom.
Oh, you did?
I taught an adult literacy class and I used Gypsy Avenue, and like you had the parents. These were parents who were in their 30s, 40s on second grade reading levels.
Yeah.
So graphic novels were best for them.
Yeah.
You had to see them. They were going crazy. They're like,
oh, that's amazing.
I hate this guy. How's she gonna leave him for him? It was like, and I like the fact that he transcends so many people just by the fact he puts so much heart in just the material he covers.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day. It's just like how much heart he put into it. Like how much. Like when he started doing the graphic novels, how much he not only put his heart into, but put himself into it. And it's again, once you realize his contract with God, was the first story is about his daughter.
Yeah.
It's like you go, wow. I mean, and when he doesn't even realize it, it's just.
No.
But I love a lot of it.
Now we've been talking about the movie. Can you give those who haven't seen the movie a quick synopsis of something that they can look forward into it?
You mean in the movie itself?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think what's great is basically it's I see the movie on two levels, which is really about Will Eisner, Will's life, his creation of the spirit and the graphic novel, and then on another level, it's really about the creation of comic books because Will was there in the beginning. Will was there with all the other creators, and so it's sort of on these two levels and what influence Will had on comic books and on the graphic novel and really what he did, what's happening to that form today. I mean, he was really the first one to say.
Yeah, it wasn't Watchmen. Watchmen wasn't the first graphic novel.
No,
it was Contract with God, some like 10 years earlier.
Yeah. And he was, and he said early on in his career that he saw it as a different form, like as an art form. And one of the things I wanted to do was also to make a movie. I love Crumb. I love American Splendor. I love those movies. Those guys are eccentric. I wanted to make a movie about an artist as sort of a like a guy in a
working man. He was a working man,
but in a suit and a tie, and that that Will was divided between the businessman because most of the comic artists and they were not the greatest businessmen.
No, they weren't.
They weren't. Will, early on he had because of his parents he had those two sides, and I thought he was a perfect example of that sort of that other side of. He wasn't eccentric. He had, not that these guys did.
I want to say from what I've heard, he was a very shy, low-key guy.
Shy?
Yeah, like I always heard, like he didn't really talk much.
He
was a talker.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, one of the great things is that we followed him around in the last convention in San Diego, his last convention in San Diego. And oh my God, I mean, we chased after him on the floor. I mean, well, you guys know, you're on a film crew and you're chasing him, and we were getting tired because how big San Diego is.
Yeah.
And you're chasing, but he's stopping and talking to people, and he'd go in and talk to Bud Bland, and they talk about a deal, and then he'd go and and then the younger kids would come up and say, "Will, I love you," and then the older, and he was just, and he was amazing. So no, he loved to talk to people. He was always there, and you probably this about Will too. He was so generous with people, and he would stop and say, they would show him something or talk to him about something. He was always generous about spending time and sort of giving his opinion about something or just talking to, he was he was an ambassador. He was the best. He was one of the best ambassadors for comics we've maybe probably the best that we've ever had.
Now, if people want to get the hold of the DVD or the Blu-ray, where can we find it?
They can go to Amazon.com, obviously, or they can go to MontillaPictures.com.
Okay.
So we sell it. Those two places, and then eventually next year we'll broaden it. It'll be Netflix and iTunes.
Okay. And if anybody wants to get in contact with you, share their thoughts of the idea of the movies, or share their compliments, where can they get a hold of you?
They can email me at acooke, that's ACOOKE, at MontillaPictures.com.
All right. Thanks a lot for your time.
And I'd be, I'd love to hear from people.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. It's been a pleasure.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this up on YouTube.
Can I give you a card?
All right, thanks for listening to the last part of the Andrew Cooke interview. Once again, you can check out the website so how to order both DVDs or the Blu-rays, or if you just go on Amazon. Once again, this is Gabe coming at you from Stranger Things Comics. Check out the websites, check out the podcast. Hope you enjoy.